Hello guys and welcome to today's video. Today we're back with 8.4.2 as promised. We'll be going through all three of the paths. If you want to sort of hear a breakdown of what these videos are, check out 8.4.1. I imagine if you're questing through this, you're having a look at each one anyway, so you might have already seen that video. But yeah, we're in at 8.4.2. We're going to go through each path, tell you the champs for it, tell you how to play it really, and then that should help you out for the quest. As you can see, I've completely 100%ed this path. The bosses are some of the I actually think they're some of the easier bosses in 8.4. Not too tricky. They all have little bits that are a bit of a pain, but nothing too major. Right, let's go into the paths. The easiest path, in my opinion, is this Wolverine path. It's a weapon path. It's very easy. Or the Old Man Logan. You've got 3 defenders there who are weak. You've got 3 defenders here who are weak. Very, very easy path. And then for the boss, I'd probably say, just having a look now, I don't think Professor X is too tricky. Black Cat is a bit of a pain. She can do a bit of damage with those guaranteed crits, but if you've got a nice mutant champ that you love, and then of course Icarus is one of the more annoying, but that one links quite nicely into another path. It all depends how you want to play it. So let's start with the Wolverine path. We've got weapon, Infernal Contract. Whenever the defender hits into block or blocks a hit, they inflict a placebo effect on the attacker. If they activate a special attack, you get a Soul Barb, which does a lot of damage. If you guys don't know what Soul Barb is, it's the same as what Mordo has and one other champ who, off the top of my head, I can't remember. To disarm it, you want to get to reach 15 or a multiple of 15 in your combo. To capture it, use your striker. And then while it's unarmed, before you capture it, you can use heavy attacks for 600% damage. It's big damage. If you want to do it that way rather than the weapon node way, that's also completely okay. The way I would do it is I disarm it with a combo, because really you're not going to purposely get hit. So you want to disarm it, then heavy attack right to the last moment, and then throw your striker, so that you can do as much damage as possible, but you also don't let the defender get the weapon node. So the way to play this: hit into the block as much as possible once you've captured the weapon node. I brought in Quicksilver because of how many hits he does. So I was bringing him in. He was doing a shed load of damage, or hits into the block. That Old Man Logan or some of the rest of the defenders, they were getting like 20, 25 placebos. Throwing a special attack, and then that Soul Barb was just killing them. The Soul Barb does damage on how many buffs they've got. So if you add 20, that's a lot of damage. So that's really how you want to play it. Pretty basic. Hit into the block as many times as possible. Throw your special attack to get that Soul Barb, and then yeah, you do a lot of damage that way. Then to the Cosmic Ghost Rider, probably the second easiest path. This one didn't take me many attempts either. You've got Snowballing Fury. If he's under the effect of 3 or more buffs, then he gains a passive Fury. Each Fury passive lasts 15 seconds. While the attacker is close to the defender, he gains a Fury. While far away, the defender's Furies, Unblockables, True Damages, Power gains a pause. So for Cosmic Ghost Rider, he gets Unblockable. For Hulkling, his buffs are unstoppable. Storm Pyramid X has that annoying SP2 that's unblockable, and Cersei is obviously very annoying as well. So you'd think the best champs to bring for this are Nullify or Stagger, Neutralize, those type of champs. However, all defenders are immune to Nullify, Stagger, and Fate Seal. But if you punish their special attack, it disables this immunity for 15 seconds. So that's just as soon as Dex the last hit, and then dive in and hit them a couple times. You do get a debilitate on strikers, so you increase the duration of your debuffs. It's obviously quite nice. So best champs for this path, you are either looking at your mystics, so Doom, Rintra. You can see in that that node there that Neutralize isn't an option, so Rintra and Wiccan has a neutralize, and Tigra, very great champs for this path. They'll, they can, they can shut off the buffs without punishment, or you bring in your Dooms, your Ebony Mars, Longshot, Mangog, any champ who has stagger, and but you just punish the first hit, and then you keep that stagger up every time, and then punish it, punish the special attack 15 seconds later once that immunity comes back live. So again, not that complicated. Bring in someone like a Rintra or a Tigra for Cersei. She gets us a load of regen, and the same champ for Hulkling. Then the other champs, don't let... oh my god, I've forgotten his name. Don't let Yondu hit into your block, because you will be bled. Storm Pyramid X, don't let her get to her SP2. And Silver Centurion, that's the one. They're all look the same, the Imans. He's nothing really. So that's that path. You've heard the champs who are good. If you do this path and you take in Rintra or Tigra or Wiccan and they're good, and you get to the end and they're 100% HP health, or high health, all of them, then take the Icarus boss. Icarus, you need to you need to get rid of his energized buffs, otherwise you'll just be hit by SP2, 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 and you'll be smashed. So yeah, you really here want to bring in your Rintras, your Tigers, your Wiccans for that neutralize, just because it's a bit easier than keeping up your staggers because of heavy attacks. Not that bad to use Doom for this boss. So if you've got high level Doom, if you've got a Rintra, you've got a Tiger or Wiccan, as previously mentioned, if they're high on HP and you've got a lot of them in your your quest deck there, take the Icarus boss. If they're all dead, take one of the, bring in, swap your character select, bring in somebody who's a great champ, and then bring in that Rintra or whoever that champ is for Icarus, just bring him in as 100% health on a different path. And then finally, the one beginning with Mordo. I avoided this right until the end of 8.4. I was doing paths, sort of as and when, the ones I thought easiest, the hardest, and I thought, this one will be really hard. And it was tricky, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. We'll go through the nodes, then I'll tell you how I played it and how I actually really enjoyed the path, although a little bit tricky. So Defender has 30% chance to deal back your damage. That's a pain, unless they're suffering from a Petrify, debuff, or passive. So either bring in somebody else, lots of Petrifies, but I would rather go with an attacker who inflicts slow, decelerate, or taunt. Spider-Man original, classic Spider-Man, 7-star, what an MVP for this path. Okay, his not penetration, but he didn't have high block resistance, on hits. So he was taking quite a lot of damage on the blocks, but the taunt, he was bringing in 20, 30 Petrifies, stacking that many, I'm not even joking, because of obviously a lot of his hits are taunts. And then that was causing their regen to be reversed. So that was coming in massive when I was letting, especially Doom. This Doom fight was a joke. But I was bringing in Spider-Man. He was putting 20, 30 Petrify passives, or 20 Petrify passives of quite strong strength. 25% Petrify, so 20 is about 300%. If I've done the maths correct there. Almost, it's about 400%. Then I was letting him do his special 2 into my block, because that Vital Strike, if he strikes the block, the defender regenerates 700% of damage dealt. So in this case, he's taking not 700% because it's not reversed, because that would be 100% Petrify. It's about 2,100% of the damage he's dealing into my block is being reversed. He's taking his damage. The SP2 was killing him straight away. The same worked for Airwalker, the same worked for more Mojo, and the same worked for Green Goblin. So you want to bring in champs who can stack up a lot of taunts, decelerates. So Spider-Man Classic, absolute MVP, best champ for this path. You've got you also want to bring in... The problem with this, before I say the next champ, is that it inflicts a slow, decelerate, taunt, debuff, or passive. So, not the problem, but the positive is She-Hulk works. That's a slow. It's lots of slows. It's not just one slow that makes that Petrify work for... because then you have to keep refreshing it and you're not able to stack your Petrifies. But champs who put a lot of taunts on, a lot of decelerates, a lot of slows. She-Hulk and Spider-Man Classic were two absolute MVPs for this. Just somebody who constantly... Spider-Gwen, another one, that constant heavy attack refresher in the slow. You keep putting as many of those on as you can, and wow, you do a lot of damage. So you can play this a different way. You can play it naturally, just keeping their power gain, because if you look, all these champions have power gain. So that's what the Petrifies are for. So you need that to stop them from gaining a lot of power. So you can play it that way, or you can combine them hitting into your block to reverse the damage for lots of Petrifies, and that works really, really well as well. So either bring in power gains with taunts, or bring in champs with lots of taunts, like lots of taunt debuffs, or slow or decelerate. And then that path shouldn't be too difficult. You will understand it a bit better as we go on. What I'll actually do is I'll show you this first fight of Mordo, if I can get it to go well, with Spider-Man Classic, just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. It's 9 energy, or 6 energy, so you guys should be thanking me for this, you know what I mean? I'm not a rich man. Obviously only messing. So you'll see how this fight works. I'll try to do it live. It's been a while since I've done it. I will say that. It's been about a week or so. So cut me some slack if it all goes wrong. I'll be trying it once. Hopefully it goes well. He froze there we go, and we're off. So you can see there's 1. There's 2. And you can see now that we're starting to stack those Petrifies. That's what I was talking about with, now we're at 4. And you just can keep building them with this Spider-Man, a great champ. Because you get lots of taunts, this Mordo's being very kind and throwing his specials. And you just go through... this Spider-Man is actually not playing nice for the video. Not ideal. When I was actually playing this path, he was a lot more giving on the old taunts. Look at this. Look, I'm hardly throwing any. Throw this. This will put Decelerate on, so that will take me to 5. You can see that the power gain when Mordo holds his block is doing nothing because of those Petrifies. So this champ is the best champ for it. You can just see I'm at 85% already just from him blocking my attacks. So if you've got stat focus, put that block resistant. I can't think what it's called off the top. I keep forgetting. I don't know what's going on. But you can see this is working really well. I'm building up. I've got 7 Petrifies now. I'll throw another SP1. I've got 9. Let's let him hit into my block. You can see that's done about 8k damage. His special one is quite weak anyway, so it's not doing loads. But here we go. Now we're farming. We're at 12, 13, 14, 15 Petrifies into the block. 25k damage. Another one. We get him up to 11 Petrifies every time he hits into my block. So if I had really high I keep going to say the word and then forgetting what it's called. After this I'm going to look, and I'm going to apologise to you guys for the absolute travesty of forgetting the words. But you can see, look at that, look. All of his buffs just going down. All of his power gain. His power just completely diminishing because of the Petrifies. The Doom fight on this one is... I wish I had got that far and recorded it for you guys. I didn't record the fight at the time because I didn't think, as mentioned in my previous video, I'd be back uploading. So I never got round to recording it, but what a fight that is, especially with this Spider-Man. It just becomes quite funny, really, because I'm letting him hit into my block. There we go. If I can parry it at the right time, which I did then, he's going to hit me now, isn't he? Yeah, brilliant. Luckily, I'm not going on to this path, but there's 4k because I've not, but you know, I've killed him. So that's the fight, that's the path. Not too tricky. Now we'll go and look at the bosses, and then that will be the video. So you can see the trickiest path. I showed you the Spider-Man. Okay, I took a bit of damage, but I did get hit. What I will do is I'm going to leave, find out what that is called on Spider-Man Stat Focus, just because I've got to know now. Back into Tell No Tales, 8.2.4. It is Stat Focus, Block Proficiency. I kept saying, you know, I was close. I was saying the same P. But, right, let's look at the bosses. No more waffling. So, Professor X, as mentioned, one that could be relatively easy. The problem with him is obviously his falter, pain in the ass. Every 10 hits on his combo, it flicks them with a falter. So every 10 hits, you get a falter passive. Falter causes their attacks to miss, as you guys know. If you're struck, that falter is moved. Falter effects last for 1 additional second. So it's just a second longer. Both the attacker and defender gain a passive fury. Nothing really massive in there. While the defender activates a special 1 or 2 within striking distance, you're rooted, so just keep that in mind. This is the biggest issue. The attacker's true strike, true accuracy, and true focus, and true sense, all of them, minus 100% ability accuracy. So for this fight, you are going to need champs like Quicksilver. You know, his slow allows him to bypass miss. Kate Bishop, great champ. Okay, she doesn't get the class advantage, but let's be honest, that really doesn't matter for her. Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of other champs. I can't think of other champs. Champs with a miss who don't have true sense. So any good miss counter that's in your deck who you think, okay, I use them a lot to counter miss, but that miss isn't true sense. If I go a bit further down and see if I can find Nick Fury, above 15 charges, counters miss. Human Torch, counters miss. So there are 2 champs, you know, just going further down that I can think of who are countering the miss of this champ. So relatively self-explanatory. You guys will know the champs in your deck who counter miss, and as long as they don't have that true sense, they work. So like Hercules isn't really working, but as you can imagine, he does still a ton of damage until you get the falter. So that's the champ for that. I would use Kate Bishop. I think Kate Bishop and Quicksilver are the 2 champs I used. As I bought 4 champs in, and then Kate Bishop was my 5th champ, and then I bought in Quicksilver, so I had them both. Black Cat. All attacks are guaranteed crits unless dodged or intercepted. A classic node, we hear that a lot. Palette Cleanser. Every time she gains a bar of power, or any champ gains a bar of power, you get a cleanse. Each time they purify or cleanse a debuff, they gain a charge that increases their combat power rate. So you just want to try and not put too many debuffs on her. And it's not reset after being struck. So you want to try and intercept because of the combo up 2. If you intercept, the timer is paused. That increases her combat power meter. Combo meter, sorry. That helps Black Cat because of the way she is played. So not too big an issue for you guys, really. This, I don't think. I think you're probably going to find this fight just fine. Any mutant champ, Hercules works, Kate Bishop works, Doom works, Kitty Pryde is really good for this. That's who I used. Omega Red, Bishop. Do you know what I mean? All these champs who just don't have debuffs. Which mutant champs, you know, there's not loads. Maybe your Archangel is a big one, but the other champs who have passives or anything like that, they work a treat. So she's not too tricky. And finally, Icarus, we've already mentioned. Bring in your neutralize, bring in your staggers. Neutralize is easier because he is not immune to it. So neutralize works better. You probably will have to use a neutralize because you need a heavy attack to get rid of the immunity to Nullified Stagger and Fate Seal by knocking him down. But when he's immune to those, he's also stun immune. So to knock him down, you're going to need either a passive stun from Doom, so Doom works well, or a relic. So make sure you bring in your relics. Other than that, relatively easy. You'll be fine with this path. I found it quite easy. Don't be afraid of the Mordo path. It sounds hard, but I just showed you. If you bring in the right champs, it may be that you have to wait. That's what I did. I waited until I got a few more champs. So like I ranked up She-Hulk. I just bought in a few more champs who have slows, decelerates, and that made my path a lot easier. So that will do it for 8.4.2. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, please leave a like. Do subscribe as well, because we'll have a lot more of these. We'll be going through all of 8.3 as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.